And thank you, community, for being you. So now, with grateful, open hearts, we get to gather for Robyn Rice Olmstead and her inspiration, her beauty, her magic that she always brings to us. So you are invited now to open up and listen with curiosity and open hearts, and just bask in this greatness that we get to be with this morning. And Robyn has her message for us this morning, which is sitting on the edge of the possible. Thank you so much, Robyn, for being with us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, good morning, everyone. It's so good to be here. I just have to say, Brentwood is such an interesting community because it really, I feel like I'm there with you. I can see you, feel you, touch you right out there in the virtual land, and it's so beautiful. And then especially, it's so beautiful in times like we're living in, right? So we gather today in a world that feels a little shaky, like it's stretching, like it's unraveling and awakening all at once. A world where the headlines can feel heavy and where injustice still cries out, and where communities and cities and states and countries are grieving, and where uncertainty just seems to be the air that we breathe. And at the same time, it feels like we're talking about a revolution of the heart, right? A true revolution, that we're standing on the edge of something and we're not even sure what it is. And yet here we are, present and accounted for, rooted and breathing. Rooted and breathing. We live in this time where when I look at like spiritual crafting of these talks, I really wonder, what can I say about roots before wings or standing at the edge of possible? And I sometimes panic and I think, well, what do I know about any of this that could possibly be meaningful at this time? And then I breathe and I get still and I listen. And I realize that it's times like these when the world feels unsteady and our spiritual grounding becomes not just comforting, but it becomes essential. It's truly a time to return to our roots. And our roots are what keep us from being blown away by fear and division and despair. Our wings keep us from collapsing into hopelessness. So we need them both, especially now. We live in this world of uncertainty, and it really doesn't matter what political party you're affiliated with, or the color of your skin, or your age, or your income, or your gender identity, or your faith. We're all being asked to find our voice in a noisy world. And we're all feeling this uncertainty of systems that no longer make sense. We're all navigating a moment that's asking us to truly stay awake and stay human. It doesn't matter what your spiritual practice is or how much you meditate daily or how you take that in. We're all trying to remember just to breathe. We're all being called to root deeper and to rise higher while we're standing on the edge of possible. So let's talk about the edge of possible for a minute. The edge is an interesting place. Like in my mind, I see it as part of those like great, beautiful posters where someone's sitting, contemplating and looking out over the vast ocean, or the magnificently colored Grand Canyon. And in my mind, I imagine they're making this huge decision. And they're going to leap off the edge into their greatest yet to be. So here's the deal. Take a breath. Because I'm about to leap off the proverbial metaphysical edge. Okay, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Spoiler alert. There is no edge. There is no edge. There is only consciousness. And consciousness is a continuum, expanding, unfolding, revealing itself as you. I know the nuances of our language are so important, and I get it. I get the metaphor of standing on the edge. But we talk about edges as if spirit deals in limits, as if the infinite suddenly stops at some cliff and says, that's about as far as I can go. Or, yeah, wait, stop here. It's not safe to go beyond this point. But the infinite doesn't have borders. God doesn't run out of real estate or runway. Possibility doesn't have a beginning or an end. The only edges that we ever meet are the ones that we've drawn ourselves, the ones that we've drawn in our own minds. Breathe. I need to breathe, so breathe with me. New Thought teaches us that we live in a universe of ever-expanding good, a universe that's always saying yes, always opening, always responding to the vibration that we bring. So when we say we're on the edge of the possible, what are we really saying? I think we're really saying, I'm standing at the boundary of an old belief, of my old belief, and the beginning of a new one. I'm knowing that I am rooted in my source. Take a breath. The edge is not a limit. The edge is a threshold. It's the moment when the old story gets too small and the new story starts to whisper, come this way, there's more. Mine are generally louder than that, but if you have a whisper, good for you. But it's telling me this is mine to do. In New Thought, we understand that life is lived from the inside out. So the edge isn't out there, it's in here. It's the place where our consciousness bumps up against a belief that can't hold our becoming. What is our becoming? Your becoming is the ongoing revelation of who you truly are. It's the infinite expressing itself as you. It's the next layer of your divine identity unfolding. Becoming is your next level of clarity, your next level of courage, of self-trust, of spiritual awareness, your next level of embodiment, your next level of remembering your oneness with all that is. It's the roots of your very being. It's the truth of who you are. So when a belief can't hold your becoming, it means you've grown beyond your story. You've grown beyond the story you used to tell you about yourself. Take a breath. And when this happens, Spirit doesn't push us off a cliff. Spirit invites us to expand, to breathe, to open, to remember who we are, to open our wings and truly soar. It's truly a divine invitation. Because the truth is, You cannot be on the edge of possible when you are the very source of possibility itself. You cannot be on the edge of the possible when you are the very source of possibility itself. You're not standing at the edge of God. You are rooted and standing at the edge of your next awareness of God. You're not standing at the edge of your potential. You're grounded and rooted and standing at the edge of your next yes. Your next moment where you surrender to the divine. And here's the best part. Are you ready? Okay. Every time that you expand, the universe expands with you. Every time you say yes, the field of possibility stretches wider. And every time you choose faith over fear, the edge dissolves because it was never real to begin with. It just brings back the song. This is where we can start the revolution of love. There's no separation between you and the universe. Your consciousness is the universe expressing itself as you. So when you grow and when you awaken and when you release an old belief and you step into a larger one, you're not just changing your personal life. You're shifting the entire field of possibility. You're shifting the noise and the chaos you see going on around you, because in a universe rooted in oneness, there's no such thing as private expansion. Your insight becomes part of the collective insight. Your healing becomes part of the collective healing. Your awakening becomes part of the collective awakening. And every time that we expand, that you expand, you stretch the boundaries of what the collective consciousness believes is possible. You widen the path, you open the door, you create this new energetic blueprint that others can step into. This is why there's no edge. So the theme of the month, Roots Before Wings, anchors us in the truth of who we are. When we maneuver from this place of anchored knowingness and the truth of what's possible, then we operate differently. We stand in faith. Fear has no power over us. We're able to stretch our wings with confidence. And this is why our wings are so important. Wings are the part of us that refuses to give up. Wings are the part of us that imagine a world that does not yet exist, but we can see it. We can feel it. We can taste it. We know exactly what Mooney was talking about when he sang about that revolution and revelation. Our wings are the part of us that say, there must be more than this. Our wings support our curiosity, our intuition, our ability to keep moving, even when we don't want to. And I'd say especially when we don't want to. Mooney sang about it. It's about feeling the soul. Feeling the soul. Wings are the willingness that Jennifer read about in her reading when she said, live everything. Live the questions. Live your way into the answers. Wings are the part of us that hears Spirit's whispers or shouts, that the part of us that soothes us or guides us and keeps us on track by reminding us this is yours to do. Oh, wings are our vision in the face of despair, our courage in the face of uncertainty, our faith in the face of fear. They are our becoming in the face of limitation. So today in my workshop, we're going to be explore our becoming or returning to our becoming. And we'll journey to your deepest roots beyond family, beyond form, beyond this lifetime, into a place where our soul agreements were made and your purpose was chosen. This is the place inside of you where the seeds were planted deep within your soul. And they may have been rooted and stretching out for generations. And we'll dive deeper into the roots of your soul's journey. And so join us. Bring your journals, bring your pens, bring your paper, because you made an agreement when you came here. And whether you join the workshop or not, the seeds have been planted and nurtured. Your roots are anchored and you are ready to grow. Your wings are stretched out and flapping in these winds of change, and the time is now. I know that sometimes it may feel cloudy or like dark times, but wings don't wait for perfect conditions. Wings rise because the world needs rising. You're not at the edge of possible. This community is not at the edge of the possible. We are at the threshold, the doorway to the next possible, and the next one, and the next one after that, because possibility is infinite. And so are we. So let's just take a moment collectively and step into that space of infinite possibility. And if you're comfortable just closing your eyes, close your eyes, and let's just picture ourselves outstretching our wings and wrapping them around our beloved Brentwood community and extending our reach out to our brother and sister, like-minded faith communities, and sending love and joining our wings together to stretch across the miles and surrounding our country and countries everywhere, and sending that peace and that love and that possibility, and just holding that in our hearts and in our consciousness for a minute. And truly embracing the fact that in this moment, you may be changing a life that you will never know because you took that breath, because you stopped for that moment, because you held that positive thought. You may be creating peace and a moment of solace that wasn't there before. So just know with me that your yes makes a difference, that our yes makes a difference, and that together we soar. And so it is.
And so it is. I love this. I before I get to the comments, I have a question. Was this one of the talks where you have the title, Standing on the Edge of the Possible, and then in working it through and letting it ruminate, you came to there's no edge.
Kind of. I was like, what is this edge we speak of? I mean, I
Yeah.
was like, what does that mean? And I was like, how can that be possible?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool when that happens. I love that process when it's like you think, oh, the edge of the possible, and it's like, well, let's dive deeper into this.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's more here. Oh, well, this was fantastic. I really appreciated some of the things you said. We just had our annual meeting, and some of this, like, it just feels like so congruent with what we've just talked about. Just this whole, there's no edge. It's the threshold of a doorway that's welcome you into the infinite possibilities. I've loved some of these things that you said are becoming that the wings are vision in despair are becoming in the face of limitation. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. Everybody, go ahead and comments, questions come into the feed. Michael J said frozen screen. Oh, here's the workshop link. I'll set that in there. Let me know if you can see us again. Looks like it's going on my end. I don't know, but it seems to still be moving along. So let's talk. I love this other part. Robyn said, you can't be on the edge of possibility when you are the very source of possibility itself.
That's
I
a
love
big
that.
one. I had to breathe a lot through my through these revelations. I was like, oh,
That
this is a
is a big
lot.
one. You know, it's like this, it's so interesting because when you said that, it's like, it's so amazing when we really start having that like deeper reflection to see the nuance, the subtle limitations we've it been ingrained, conditioned, we've placed on ourselves or been placed from the outer world into us. And that's why it's so important to become that observer a lot of times, like observer of our own thought, like what is that program running? And just a subtle limitation like that. It's
Yeah.
really interesting, isn't it? I mean, that really struck me today. Um, wow, there's so many little things, if we're just moving along, trucking along so quickly that we might miss. So important, important stuff. Every time you say yes to the universe, it expands with you. You expand the boundaries of what the collective consciousness has already. I love that because this was reminding me of Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote about take the first step and the staircase will appear. And there's a lot of quotes like that, but it's the same idea of every time you say yes, the universe will then expand more and more. It's like I just see this whole like opening up, right? But until you say yes, until you take that step, until you let those wings expand, the universe can't align with that yet.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate that you
And
said
I
it
think
that way.
also for me, it speaks to those moments when we think it doesn't matter and we're ready to give up. We think, it
Mm.
doesn't matter, it doesn't make a difference. It makes a difference. Like really living into that, it makes a difference is a big deal.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it is a big deal. I think especially these days we can get caught up in there's so much social media or just media just there's so much in our face now these days that you can get caught up in yeah, well, maybe what I have to say or write or my art or whatever it is for you. Nah, there's plenty out there, right?
Yeah.
And really the truth of it is you are here. You are here for such a time as this. Whatever your thing is, it's been and I think maybe you alluded to this a little bit. We're going into like our soul, did you say contract? Um, our soul made agreements. I don't forget the words you used.
Yeah.
I'm now pulling out my words for the soul agreements that were made. And so this is part of that. Like that's why it's so important that we do uh, follow that inner calling. How did you said something else that was really beautifully said, and I really appreciated how you said it. Basically about I love this that I'm rooted in my source. The moment when the old story gets too small, that's the edge. Is when the moment the old story gets too small, and that new story, I don't remember the exact word used, but like beckons us or screams at us.
Right.
Whatever it is for you, whispers, screams, beckons, pulls us forward. And that's the thing. It's the thing that is ours to do.
And we know it. And if we continue to live in the other place, we feel it. Like it's not congruent with who we are. We can't, we
So
can't
true.
move
That
forward.
that
So I love
is,
the reading. I love live into the answer. It's like we
yes.
know if we listen and we live it.
Yes. Yes, yes. Absolutely. I love it too. This was all so beautiful. Let me check in with everybody in the feed here. Luinda says, I love the concept of infinite possibility. Thank you, Robyn, for your very positive and inspiring message. Jan says, there is no edge, only consciousness, and that is a continuum. Yes, I love that part too. Isn't that um expansive? It like just gives you air. It gives me air anyway, I should say. I'll speak for myself. Kathy says, I can feel like an edge. It can feel like an edge, even a cliff, yet when one steps off, wings grow and a wonderful new life is there that was waiting for you all the time. Thank you, Robyn. Wonderful talk. Yes, I so agree with the feeling tone here. Michael J., did you end up coming back from a frozen screen? Wow, this was fantastic. I am so excited. So we are going to, and I might also say, I remember, so Robyn and I went back and forth about dates for this year, and I kept giving her dates that were really special dates in her life. So she is here on Gil's birthday. So thank you. We want to say happy birthday to Gil from our community, and thank you to him for sharing you with us for a little while today. We're grateful. Um, and I was just in tune with all Robyn's special dates in the spring. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, so we are gonna move into our workshop. We'll have just a few minutes here to hydrate, get a snack, find a notebook or a journal or something that you'd like to write some special notes in. Hi, Bob. So glad you're here. He said it all starts in our soul. Hi, Nan. Nice to see you. She said, so inspiring.
Hmm.
Yes, everybody, come to the workshop. Remember, our workshops are open for everybody. Please come. It's a powerful, potent container when we get in these workshops. I'm telling you, I'm always just kind of blown away. Like, wow. Um, we get something really special on Sunday afternoons in our all day in the morning and then in the workshop. Hi, Pat. Pat says the ego feels like we are jumping off into space, yet no edge with increased consciousness. Jan says every time you expand, the universe expands with you. When you grow, step into a new belief, expand, you stretch the boundaries to what the universe says is possible. Yes. And Michael J. Michael says, yes, I'm back. Happy birthday, Gil. Yes. Dave says, hi, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for being here, Dave. So happy to see everybody here. Yay. Yeah, this was a beautiful message today. I took a lot of notes. So that's what I'm looking over, just making sure there's nothing else I want to be sure to repeat here.
Well, I'll repeat one because it's coming up
Yeah,
for me right now.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's weird. I don't
yeah.
really know what I'm
It's
saying when
important.
I'm saying it, but the threshold, I love the idea of it's not an edge, it's a threshold because it's
Mhm.
like, then it's like, I get the visual of like running a race and winning, like going through that like tape
Yeah,
at the end and knowing that there's more, it's
yeah,
not, but it's that you can
yeah.
measure it. And yeah,
Right. I wrote that down too with a couple little arrows and a little star. Because
yeah.
I really like that too, the image of the threshold. And we talked about this at our annual meeting recently with our community. Like, there's been so many threshold moments where we pivoted and adjusted and we're just soaring. We just it's a moment where you could come to, you think it's like, oh, we're on the edge here, like, oh, we're falling. I might have used that too. Like, we're not falling off an edge here. We're like soaring. It's just a pivot,
Yeah.
it's a threshold to say this other story is no longer, and now what? And how did you word it? You had a much more beautiful way of saying that. But I did like this part, what you said too. Wings don't wait for perfect conditions. Sit with that one, everybody. Digest that one. We want to make sure they're all there and strong and what they're looking like. And it's like they don't wait for perfect conditions. Like jump and go, right? And see what happens and know the staircase will appear. That's the hardest thing because we are spiritual beings, but then we also are in this human temple, right? And so we have this working brain that we work with, like our amygdala that wants to save our life all the time, and like something like that gets our amygdala activated. Like, no, don't jump, just don't worry about the wings. It doesn't matter if you have wings, just don't jump. So we have to recognize that we have that mechanism also, which does save our life if there's a fire or something important. We have to understand, acknowledge that it's acting all the time, even in times when no jump.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I was inspired for the workshop. I was inspired by
Mm.
last month we had a practitioner meeting at Agape with Michael Beckwith, Dr. Michael Beckwith, and he did this meditation that was really just brought us back to the soul and our core essence. And I think that's it. It's like when we get out of our head and we can really listen, you know, to the quiet and know, then we act accordingly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I think
right. I
it
call that getting out of the fray. Yeah, for sure. I know. I absolutely know what you mean because there's a lot of fray. There's a lot
there's
going on.
yeah, there's a lot of and it's funny, like even the word threshold, when I was contemplating the talk and writing it, when the word threshold came up, I was like, "Ah, who says that anymore? I haven't heard that word in year. What does that mean? You know,
Yeah.
and then you go, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, sometimes the perfect word comes in. It's like, where did that come from? But yeah, it has a power to it because every word has a frequency too, I believe anyway.
Right.
And so yeah, so there's more to it, and the word threshold really does have a frequency to it. It's like, whoa, listen up.
Yeah.
Listen up here. This is something important. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. Woo! I'm so excited. Well, Raman, we're so grateful for you. Thank you for being with us today. And like I said, everybody, we're getting ready to go into the Zoom workshop. I dropped the link in the live stream feed. I'll put it here again because it looks like it's a little bit buried. And then it's also on the website if you somehow can't find it here in the chat. unityinspiredliving.org. It's on the homepage. You'll see it. Everybody's welcome. Come in. If you've never been to a workshop, just jump in, try it because you will be amazed, especially this one. This is going to be a great one when we're talking about soul agreements. We're ready for this. So, thank you everybody for being here. If this community nourishes your roots and the teachings here and the gatherings here support your growth and your wings, we invite you to participate in this sacred exchange of giving. And please know that your generosity sustains this space of music, wisdom, soul, love, spiritual exploration, and we are so grateful for you. So thank you, thank you. We are going to close with our prayer of protection, and I'm going to share that right here on the screen. It should be popping up right now. And remember, this is a blessing for you. So receive, let it land, let it land. Remember, we talked about the different forms this prayer can come in, and this one is uh, a blessing for you. So the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you, the mind of God guides you, the life of God flows through you, the laws of God direct you, peace of God abides within you. The joy of God uplifts you. The strength of God renews you. The beauty of God inspires you. And wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Amen. And remember, when we take that inner nourishment and tend to the what's within and take in that prayer for yourself and let it land, then we can bring it out into the world. And that is the exciting part of our mission here. So I think we're going to dive much more into this in the workshop right now, and I'm excited. So join us there. Thank you, Robyn Rice Olmstead, for sharing you with us today. We are tremendously grateful for your spirit and your beauty. Thank you for being with us, and everybody on the live stream. We love you. Thank you for being here, for gathering in this space, bringing your consciousness to co-create. Shine on, bright ones. We love you dearly. Mwah! See you next week.